Since the release of its first season a few months ago, it didn't take long for Yellowjackets to become one of the most popular psychological dramas in the history of Showtime. A fact that wasn't at all surprising considering the title cast that drove the story. But what do we really know about our new favorite cast members? And what can we tell you about their hidden love lives? For all this and more, stay tuned. First up on our list is the one and only Christina Ricci, a starlet that needs next to no introduction since she has already had a rather lucrative career in Hollywood. For those of you who need a reminder though, this 41-year-old California native was born on the 12th of February 1980, which means she's just a few days away from turning 42. But you'd never say so considering her slender waist and overall good looks. Suffice to say, Christina Ricci is still a bombshell of note, something she showed off once more on the set of Yellowjackets, where she portrayed the older version of Misty, a survivor of the terrifying situation the poor soccer team was forced into. That being said, you no doubt recognize Ricci from her earlier work in television and film. When she was just 10 years old, she starred in the popular Addams Family franchise, where she portrayed the edgy character of Wednesday Addams. This no doubt determined the type of actress she would become in Hollywood, going on to play titles like Sleepy Hollow and Monster, which both reached critical acclaim and fan appreciation. But as far as her personal life was concerned, Ricci had some trouble. She married a dolly grip by the name of James Heerdigan back in 2013, but this marriage later ended in divorce and a restraining order. According to reports, Heerdigan had been physically abusive towards Ricci, which resulted in her getting full custody over her son. She is now married to Mark Hampton though, and couldn't be happier. Next up is Samantha Hanratty, the woman who brought teenage Misty to life. She was born on the 20th of September 1995, Scottsdale, Arizona, making her only 26 years old at the moment. And while she has been involved in quite a few titles over the years, it was truly her casting as the teenager version of Misty in Yellowjackets that propelled her to fame. One of her first roles was actually in the teenage flick An American Girl, Chrissa Stands Strong, which saw her portraying a character that was so far removed from Misty that we honestly battled to see the connection. That being said, this was way back in 2009 when Hanratty was just 14 years old. Before Yellowjackets though, she was probably best known for her portrayal of Aria Killigan in Daybreak, an apocalypse-based comedy drama that really allowed her to work on the skills she needed to make it big in Hollywood. She hasn't just been successful in the work realm though. When she was just 21 years old, she announced on her official Instagram page that she had just been proposed to by Christian D'Andra, a man she had been dating from April of 2020. Christian co-owns a custom clothing business and has very little to do with Hollywood, which is reportedly one of the reasons why he and Hanratty are so happy together. They have yet to tie the knot, but they are no doubt preparing for one of the biggest weddings of the century, and we couldn't be happier for the pair. And then we have Juliette Lewis, the starlet behind the older version of Natalie. For those of you who don't know, Juliette Lewis has been around in the filming industry for quite some time now. The 48-year-old Los Angeles native was actually born in California back in late June of 1973 and qualifies as one of the oldest cast members on set of Yellowjackets. That being said, she still looks absolutely beautiful and really adds to the allure of the show whenever given the opportunity to do so. If you're a lover of television, you've also no doubt seen Lewis's face before. As we said earlier, she's been around for quite some time now and is featured in some of the biggest titles around. When she was just 18 years old, for example, she was already nominated for an Oscar and Golden Globe due to her portrayal of Danielle Bowden in Cape Fear. She then went on to portray the character of Natalie in Natural Born Killers, a film that really cemented her as a talent in Hollywood. And because of her incredible standing, she has dated some of the hottest men in the industry. After spending some time with the likes of Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, Lewis married skateboarder and director Stephen Barra, but they divorced in 2005 after the relationship irrevocably broke down for some reason. In the end, Lewis decided to get into a long-term relationship with Brad Wilk, who you might recognize as the ex-drummer of Rage Against the Machine. Next up is Sophie Thatcher, best known for her portrayal of teenage Natalie. And while it might feel as if Thatcher has come out of nowhere in the past few months, the 21-year-old actress has actually been trying her hand at acting for quite some time now. She was born on the 18th of October 2000 in Chicago, Illinois, where she quickly developed a love for the dramatic. This resulted in her being cast as Lily Strong in a short film known as Growing Strong, which still qualifies as her first leading role in Hollywood. But by far, her most popular role prior to Yellowjackets was as C in Prospect, a science fiction film that reached critical acclaim back in November of 2018. Just a few years later, and it feels like Sophie Thatcher is everywhere. Not only did she make a massive impact when cast in Yellowjackets, she also went on to star in Book of Boba Fett, a Star Wars story that has solidified her as part of the broader George Lucas universe. She might even have a starring part in the upcoming season of The Mandalorian, if she's lucky. But when it comes to romance, Thatcher hasn't been very forthcoming about her relationships. She likes to keep her personal life out of the public public eye. And in an interview posted a few weeks ago, she mentioned that this attitude was no doubt the result of her growing up in the Mormon faith. But considering how busy she is, we doubt she has time for a relationship anyway. Melanie Lynskey is another great addition as Shauna on the show. And we have a feeling that the New Zealand actress is probably the most recognizable of the older cast members to join the new generation who fell in love with Yellowjackets. She was born in New Plymouth, New Zealand back on the 16th of May, 1977, which makes her already 44 years old at the moment. And while she has spent a lot of time acting in artistic films that are almost never recognized as blockbuster hits, she has had a few breakout roles over the years. She actually made a big name for herself when she was just 16 by bringing the murderous teenager Pauline Parker to life in Heavenly Creatures. But by far, her most recognizable role was that of a supporting cast member in the Charlie Sheen sitcom 2.5 Men. But if that was your only experience of Lynskey, you were no doubt surprised when her ditzy character was replaced by Shauna in Yellowjackets. When filming Red Rose, Lynskey met fellow actor Jimmy Simpson, who she immediately fell in love with. They married one another 6 years later, but after some time decided to split because of a breakdown in the marriage. It was then in 2013 that she met Jason Ritter on the set of The Big Ask. They married in 2020 and now live in Los Angeles with their adorable daughter. Suffice to say, the couple is incredibly happy together and might have more children in the future. Last but not least, we have Sophie Naylis as the teenage version of Shauna, and to many, she was one of the biggest surprises that Yellowjackets brought to us. For those of you who don't know, the 21-year-old actress was born in Windsor, Canada on the 27th of March 2000. But surprisingly enough, she never dreamed of being an actress. She was actually training for the Canadian gymnastics squad when she was offered her most iconic role as Liesl Meminger in the critically acclaimed film The Book Thief. Just like that, she changed what she wanted to do, solidified herself as the newest talent in Hollywood. Far cry from what we're used to now from her in the context of Yellowjackets. To the dismay of the male fanbase of the show, Naylis is currently dating a young man by the name of Clovis Henrard, and by the sound of it, things are pretty serious. There has been no engagement just yet, but we have a feeling that the question may be asked any day now. And there you have it, everything you need to know about the real-life ages and life partners of your favorite Yellowjackets cast. Who surprised you the most? And what are your thoughts on a season 2? Feel free to let us know in the comments section down below.